Since childhood, this girl has been able to see monsters and distinguish between good and bad ones. For the harmless and cute little creatures, Jenny would even bring food to feed them. One day, on her way to college, she encountered a monster wearing an ogre mask. The monster kept muttering to itself, saying it was very hungry. Jenny locked eyes with it and immediately offered her lunch. The monster's sharp claws scratched the back of her hand. Although it was Jenny's first time meeting this creature, it knew her name. Jenny turned and walked away, recalling how, as a child, her mother had abandoned her out of fear because she could see monsters. Her grandfather had taken her in and raised her. Unfortunately, her beloved grandfather passed away not long ago. The inheritance he left her was enough to finish her college education. Later that evening, as Jenny walked past the shrine on her way home from class, she was surprised to find that her lunchbox had been cleaned and returned, along with a beautiful hairpin. She reflected that although the monster looked fierce, it had been very polite. When she opened the lunchbox, she was stunned to find that the cloth wrapping it was a marriage proposal. In an instant, Jenny was transported to the monster world, and the one who brought her there was the monster in the mask. Seeing Jenny frightened, the monster removed its mask, revealing its true appearance. Jenny realized that the handsome creature in front of her looked somewhat familiar. The man called Jenny his bride, but his subordinates believed she was just a human girl and unworthy of being the lady of the house. Jenny took the opportunity to slip away, only to discover that she was in a place where monsters lived, the Inn of the Gods. Jenny remembered seeing a photo of the inn in her grandfather's belongings, and the man with black hair standing next to her young grandfather was the same monster in front of her. The monster introduced himself as the owner of the Inn of the Gods and revealed that her grandfather had the ability to travel between the human and monster worlds. He had even promised to marry Jenny off to a man named John. Jenny was furious and refused to believe it, but John showed her a contract. He then arranged for Jenny to take a bath and change into a beautiful dress. John said that Jenny had a lot of spiritual energy and looked very delicious, but because monsters liked humans with strong spiritual power, he couldn't bring himself to eat her, and Jenny decided to earn money on her own to pay off the debts. She didn't want to help her grandfather by marrying John. John, however, compromised and agreed to let Jenny work at the Inn of the Gods without becoming his bride, but she would still face the risk of being taken away by other monsters. Later that night, feeling hungry, Jenny got up to find something to eat, only to meet George, the nine-tailed fox from the inn. George guessed that Jenny was hungry and brought her sushi. He introduced himself as the young master of the inn. Jenny, confused, assumed George was John's child, but George quickly explained that he and John were about the same age. He had used magic to transform into a child to avoid scaring Jenny. Otherwise, he could have turned into a beautiful woman or a fluffy fox. George was very famous in the monster world, and his subordinates admired him greatly. As Jenny ate the sushi George had given her, she recalled the first time she ate food from a monster, when she was very young. She remembered that the monster had been very kind to her. The next day, Jenny went looking for a job at the inn. Anna, the beautiful snow woman who worked at the front desk, rejected her, unhappy that Jenny could become John's bride. Jenny tried other places but was rejected everywhere. While wandering around the inn, she noticed some arrows pointing in a certain direction and decided to follow them. Outside, she found a beautiful courtyard with a wooden restaurant. As soon as she entered, she saw George, who greeted her. It turned out that this was George's true form.